Many of you have asked how Borg has been. I gave him a call and let him know that you all said hello, and that there is a sort of expressed concern for his well-being. Borg says he's fine, and that this isn't the first time he's dealt with his skinwalker wounds. Since he runs his own fencing company, he has the ability to take time off, and he plans on milking that for as long as he can. Borg fine. Borg grateful for you all. Tonight I decided to return back to the peninsula since I made such a tremendous amount that last time from Yuki and Baphomet. I parked my car at the usual San Bruno Starbucks among the other personal drivers for the airport. I couldn't help but wonder if they were competition or if maybe some of those drivers might be paranormal. It's hard to look at any occupied space the same anymore. The kids you see late at night, nose deep in a book with an iced water and no visible dark circles, definitely not human. I've recently learned that the more up protrude people look, the more likely they are to be paranormal. I haven't met an entity yet that has struggled with the same necessities that humans need, like sleep and caffeine. They take in nutrients in, other ways. The paranormal have a longer lasting effect from their ways of consuming than people do, which is really not news. Most humans already assumed and theorized that much. I just wanted to reaffirm this with the rest of you. Should you be on the lookout, just don't do what I do and ask them outright. I have a little bit of protection working for Cerber. Anyone else is probably a meal. I spent my evening people watching as I waited for a request. I was feeling a little too moody for sensory stimulation like music. Shortly after midnight, I got a request from Kane. Before anyone has a fit, it's Kane with a K, not biblical Kane with a C. This shouldn't give you too much more comfort. This is still a paranormal service, after all. Just wanted to stomp out that assumption immediately. The request came from Redwood City, which was a short drive down 101 South. I was still buckled in ready to go, so I made my way to El Camino Real to begin my night. I took the ride in silence, occasionally looking out the window at the new developments. The Bay Area is never the same 2 days in a row. It seems like there's always something new to look at. I pull up to a small apartment complex, close to downtown Redwood City. It's after 10 p.m., so majority of the city is already sleeping, giving the cute downtown area a more ominous feel. It feels like I'm invading some kind of curfew despite being a grown-ass man. I park outside the main entrance to the building and wait. As I'm marking myself as arrived, my car door opens and shuts quickly. I didn't even flinch. I've gotten rather used to the abnormal reflexes the paranormal have. I didn't even bother looking back to meet my passenger's gaze. Like I said, I'm feeling moody. I put my car in drive and start the route. "Hi, Jim," I hear a child say. A child. I look back and see a kid about 9 years old wearing a navy blue zip-up hoodie and jeans. He even had light-up shoes that would flash as he kicked them together. I keep assuming that I'm done being surprised, but nope. I am shocked and severely underprepared to handle children. The paranormal I can handle, not kids. They're truly unpredictable and they freak me out. I slam on my brakes and pull over to the side of the road. I whip my head around to hold focus on this little seedling of a human that barely fits the seatbelt crossing his chest. "Kane?" I ask, wide-eyed. "Yes," Kane says with a slight nod. "Am I not in the right car? You drive for Cerber, yes?" he says with a tinge of worry. No," I say, stammering. Yes, yeah, I'm with Cerber. I guess I'm just a little, surprised to see a child calling for a ride. Are you even old enough to have a cell phone? I don't mean to be rude, but older men and children that don't belong to them usually ends the dudes in a terrible place. Prison. They end up in prison. I was spiraling into the rabbit hole of absolute nonplus. Kane notices this and interrupts me gently. I am sorry. I did not mean to alarm you. I am told that humans are relatively unthreatened by children, so that is the form I chose. I am not actually a child. Kane finishes with patience. Oh. Okay. Can we make a quick agreement before we move any further? I ask. Sure, Jim, Kane says, folding his tiny hands into his lap. If I get pulled over by an officer, can you, not be a child? Yeah, of course, on one condition. What? I ask, body tensing in slight defense. You have to answer any and all questions I may have for the duration of this ride. Does that sound fair? It's never a good sign when an entity has a cheeky grin and a counteroffer. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. You have a deal. I feel like this is simply a delivery of karma at this point. I finish putting the car into gear. All those times I got nosy with the paranormal, I deserve this. Could be entertaining, could be hellacious. Bring it on. Great. Kane pulls out a pad and pen seemingly from nowhere. How old are you physically? What? How old is your body? He rephrases. 38, I think. I'm not entirely sure what that question means. I reply in earnest. How old are you spiritually? Kane asks, looking down at his notepad. Shit, I don't know. 16? I reply with sarcasm. Sounds right, yes. He scribbles into his notepad. How old were you when you tested your first substance? I clam up. Did he know about my struggles with alcohol? Is he aware of my mental illness? Does alcohol count? I ask. Yes, Jim. I would also like to know of any other substance experiments. I'm not sure if this kid is just gathering a census or if he is truly clueless. Well, I was 19 when I had my first beer. However, I started drinking really hard when I was 28. A death in the family sort of pushed me in that direction, you could say. I've been sober for a few months now. I feel like I can be honest, even if the content I'm providing is a little mature for a kid. Thank you, Jim. Kane takes a few minutes to write. How old were you when you had your first sexual experience? Nope, I say bluntly. Jim, we have an agreement. Kane sounded irritated. Yeah, we did, but I don't feel comfortable telling a child about sexual stuff. That's too weird, man. Ask something else. I finish. It's just too creepy. Kane lets out a sigh and says, Alright, would you feel more comfortable answering the question if I took my true form? I mean, no? That's kind of personal, but if you don't want to let that one go, then yeah. You have to ditch the kid facade. I'm not down. Alright, he says quietly, then continues within seconds. Is this better? I look back to see this. His size hadn't changed much. He was about the size and build of a 12-year-old boy. He looked nothing like a little boy, though. Kane has gray skin, shiny with enormous black almond-shaped eyes set in a head that was an easy 3 sizes too large for his skinny body. He had no visible nose and a tiny mouth that he kept closed in a tight, kind of adorable smile. He waved his 4-digit hand at me, as if to tell me that it's still him. This was the real Kane. No shit, I say in a laughing delight. Aliens are real. I kinda always knew, but holy hell, is this cool. Yes, Jim, aliens are real, he says, still smiling. So friendly, contrary to what the movies want you to believe. Then again, the paranormal have always been poorly represented in Hollywood. Okay, can I please ask you some questions, I beg? After you answer mine, I don't see why not, he replies, shrugging. Alright, first sexual experience. I was, 24. I begin before Kane cuts me off. 24. Isn't that a bit old for humans to start having sex? I wasn't ready, Jesus! I reply, super defensive because he wasn't wrong, and as a male, it's even worse, stereotypically. Stupid concept. Yeah, that's old, but I was too scared and too noble in high school when it was the cool thing to do. Some may say having sex early is just primitive and immature anyway. I try to recover. Some may say it's pitiful, he replies coolly. Alright, next question. I throw one hand up as if I've actually thrown the question directly out the window. Right, thank you. He looks down at his pad and back up to me. What and when was your first heartbreak? My chest got heavy. I was already moody to begin with, and this wasn't going to help. My mouth salivated for a pint of cheap vodka at the question. I was 28. My sister was murdered by a lawless skinwalker. Someone famously dubbed it. I thought my first breakup was harsh. I was wrong. Even though death is a promise, and we're always supposed to expect it, death still hurts the worst. For me, at least. It felt good to verbally vomit my demons into Kane's lap. It was cathartic. I am sorry for your loss, Jim. Kane puts a hand on my shoulder, looking at me with unblinking eyes and an expression of concern. I don't mean to sound like a dick, but it was really freaky, no matter how kind the gesture was. Thanks, Kane. I reply with a half smile. What else have you got for me? If you had to pick how the world ends, how would you like it to see it occur? He asked as if this wasn't the most loaded question I've ever been asked. I wouldn't? I'd like to live. How close are we to the destination? I'm uncomfortable now. Humor me, Jim. He presses. I don't know, something quick, I guess, like another meteor or something? Tapping my thumb impatiently on the steering wheel. Thank you, Jim. That's all I really wanted to know. You may now ask me what you like. He puts his pad away, no idea where, but it's gone. Now as he stares patiently at me through my rearview mirror. Do you put things in butts? Come on, you would want to know too. No. We go through the eyes to get to the brain for what we need. Why anyone assumes the best route is through the anus is beyond me. He replies as if he was expecting that. I'm a little weirded out by the answer. I shudder at the thought of anyone going into my eyes. Right. Makes sense. Okay, next question. The pyramids, was that you guys? Fair question. It's all over the conspiracy forums and docu-series involving government secrets. Also no. Man built that. Leave it to man to create something extraordinary and to later doubt it thousands of years later. It's easier for man to believe aliens did it instead of crediting the thousand slaves to create such monuments. You all are a foolish and arrogant race, you know that? He seemed really angry at this, but he wasn't wrong. I feel dumb. You're not wrong, I reply quietly. Okay, does Area 51 exist? The secret alien bunker? Yeah, it exists. They don't have a genuine alien corpse, though. They don't even have a credible ship. Humans have taco trucks, right? I nod in response. That's all the government has. Our version of a taco truck, a mobile food source. They have absolutely nothing credible. If they did, you would know a lot more. Your government only keeps secrets that make money. They don't care otherwise. He replies, still agitated. Hard truth. You're making me regret paying taxes. I say in a state of mental whiplash. Damn, that was dismal. Okay, what's the deal with cows? They're really cute, he replies, nothing else to add. That was a bust. Are there other planets that have life on it? I was kind of nervous for this answer, though I'm not sure why. Well, I'm not from here, as you know. That should be a sufficient enough answer. You have living proof that other planets are inhabited by other beings. Good point. So why Earth? I ask, remembering the Armageddon question he previously asked me. I do not think you will like the answer, Jim. His tone changed. Kane began wringing his wrist and tapping his foot. Shit. We're all gonna die. I still want to know. I push. Well, humans are very stupid. Not just you, all of you. You've managed to enslave each other over skin pigments and put more value in the dollar than you do in family. What do you mean more value in the dollar, I ask?
A startling amount of humans have killed their own family for insurance money or inheritance. What's even more interesting is the arrogance of not being caught. It's as if some humans think their desire burns hot enough to render them impervious to consequence.
I hate people. I really hate people.
You're very unkind to each other, Kane continues. If you were not born of the same dirt, you kill other humans for their dirt as well. I'll never understand a human's fascination with dirt.
He throws his hands up like a true scientist with an anomaly. You know, I begin, you're giving me an entirely new and sobering outlook on humans. I merely just avoided them before, but now I wonder if I prefer the paranormal to humans. I smile at him through the mirror. The GPS alerts me that we are 2 minutes away.
Thank you, Jim, for answering my questions as well as asking. It's nice to know some of you have curious minds still. Technology has really severed the nerves on wonder.
I pull up to a bowling alley that rests on the Belmont and St. Mateo border. I look back at Kane, confused to ask him about bowling, only to notice he has shifted into the mirror image of myself. Kane? What the hell? I bark.
Oh, I hope you don't mind me borrowing your look. I promise I'll only use it for a few hours to watch humans in this pastime. I need to understand why destroying a stack of wood with a ball of graphite and resin is so amusing. It's so obscure.
I chuckled at his response. Yeah, go for it. No kissing on ladies, though. I don't need anyone slapping me while I'm at Target for forgetting their name.
What do you mean?
Kane asked, cocking his head to the side. Forget it, I smile. Thank you for riding with Cerber and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Jim.
Kane replies, walking up to the bowling alley. His ride was $2,117.89, and he tipped me $400. Kane gave me a 5 bat wing rating and no review. My guess is he wanted to avoid interjecting any of his studies into the ether. I post up at Central Park in San Mateo, waiting for another hit. I reflected on what Kane had to say about humans, and he's right. For being the top of the food chain, we're really stupid and selfish. I understand why he's looking for answers, it just doesn't make any sense. About 20 minutes zip by and I get a request from someone named Charisse on 3rd Street in St. Mateo. I accept the request and take the short drive to pick her up. A beautiful African-American woman gets into my back seat. She has her braided hair half pinned up, wearing a black t-shirt and denim pants. Her eyes were the color of honey and she smelled like lilacs. I instantly blush at her beauty and ask, "Are you Charisse?"
Yeah. Are you Jim?
She replies, her voice cool and kind. Yeah, good evening, I reply, trying to do a flirty smile. I'm sure I looked creepy, but this is Cerber. She's likely used to that.
Good evening.
She giggles and smiles, buckling up her seatbelt. I begin making my way down 4th Street, heading to the freeway towards South Francisco. Charisse has her legs crossed, hands on her knees and looking out the window. She has to be a siren or something. She's so gorgeous. Her phone starts buzzing and caused her to jump. Oh, that was cute.
You mind if I take this, Jimmy boy?
She asks, teasing me. Oh no, go ahead. I reply through a weird giggle grin.
Thank you.
She taps her phone and greets the person, saying,
Hi, Adeline. I'm on my way to you right now. I left my car back at the parking garage in San Mateo.
She pauses for a moment, and of course, I've become very nosy.
No, yeah. Jim picked me up. No, he's fine. Quite a gentleman.
She winks at me as if to let me know that she's aware that I'm listening. I keep my ear out, but shy away from her gaze. She continues to call.
Yeah, I got it. I'll see you soon, Adeline. Thank you.
She hangs up the phone and continues staring out the window. Is everything okay, Charisse? I ask with genuine concern and hoping I can be extra helpful to impress her.
Oh yeah, everything is fine. I gave a ride to an orc earlier and he had an accident in my back seat, she says.
Borg? I ask with surprise.
Yeah, Borg! Nice guy, but lethal to fabric seats.
Wait. You gave Borg a ride. Who are you? I ask, puzzled. I'm Charisse. I also drive for Cerber.